Welcome guys! So in the new 1.6 update, as usually we got new stuff added to PUBG Mobile, especially the settings got a brand new redesign, and there are a few new setting options, which we will be taking a look at them, as well as some tips and tricks about the new Flora Menance mode. Starting with the settings, we got few new options, like merging crouch and prone option. If you enable this, the crouch and prone will merge together into a single button. Your crouch works normally as usually, but in order to use prone, you need to hold the crouch for a while to activate it. This is really useful if you're playing with just 2 or 3 fingers. But I wouldn't recommend using this feature if you're playing with 4 or more fingers, because this process would take around 1 or 2 extra seconds to activate prone, but it's really cool feature. Anyway, moving on to the next one, sprint sensitivity. This is a feature I really like, so by default you'll get 50% sensitivity. Even before this update it's capped at 50%, so now if you decrease the sensitivity, you'll need to drag your thumb finger way more higher to activate sprint or to run. And if you increase the sprint sensitivity, then the sprint will activate way quicker. I mean, you need to drag your thumb less distance to sprint or run. Suppose if you put 100%, then the sprint will activate immediately, so you'll instantly run when you move your joystick. I highly recommend not to use 100% sprint sensitivity, put it around 80 to 90%, otherwise you won't be able to walk. Let's move on to the focal length adjustment. This is basically scope distance adjusting button. By default it's tap. You need to tap to open and tap to adjust. However, if you use hold, you need to hold and move up and down to adjust the distance, and release your finger to stop. It's kinda similar to scope's tap and hold option. Anyway, by far my favorite new feature would be the headshot sound effects. You will hear a specific sound when you hit a headshot. Here is an example. I really like this new feature, and highly recommended to enable it, so you will know whether you hit a headshot or not. And lastly, the highlight moments. By enabling this, your gameplay highlights will be saved directly in the matches. You can view it by going into your career results, and click this reply button. It will show only your highlights. Currently I think it's not working properly, not all the kills are showing. But let's hope it's gonna improve soon. By the way, you can also send your highlights to your friends directly in-game. Anyway, moving on to the Flora Menance event mode tips and tricks. First, let me show you about the new features. It's kinda continuity from the last event ignition mode, but there are a few new things, which you can clearly see on the map. But first, let me show you about this shop feature, or Dynahack supplies. You can buy AWM and Groza from this shop and some other weapons, and level 3 armor and attachments, and lastly the ammo. But in order to buy you need knackers, which you can find while looting on the houses, or on the matrix, which I will tell you later on this video. This is really overpowered, especially when you're fighting and lost your helmet. You can buy one immediately, plus you can use that supply cell as your cover. It's indestructible. The normal shield barrier will break, but not the supply cell. And the crazy thing about this supply cell, you can climb on top of it. So let's say, if someone is camping in a house and waiting for you, you can order a health kit or some painkillers from the shop and place it next to the door like this, and climb up the door and surprise attack your enemies who are camping on the 2nd floor. Anyway, now let's talk about these new locations in the map. The first one is Rejuvenation Barrier. There will be only 3 of these in the map. If you enter this barrier, your health will automatically heal, or basically your health will regenerate after you're done fighting, which is kinda cool, but it won't heal you while fighting. It's almost similar to TDM health healing. And the next one is Cell Matrix Robot. There are only 3 locations for this. If you go here, you need to fight against some robots, which will give you some loot. And by the way, there will be 3 levels of robots, level 1 being the easiest, level 3 the hardest. My biggest tip is to shoot them in the head to kill faster. And lastly, the cells. There are about 50 of them in the map. You can't enter these cells directly. You need to wait 5 minutes, and then the cell opens up, which will take you to a matrix area, or spaceship. So here it's basically like TDM. You need to fight against mostly bots, maybe some real players. By the way, there will only be 3 lives for you. After that you will be kicked out from that area, and you can't die in that spaceship though. There will be 3 levels, first with the shotguns, second with the SMGs, third with the assault rifles. After that the Matrix will dock, which will open up other areas that might contain real enemies, and you'll get either Grozov or AUG along with a rocket launcher to fight. So here in this Matrix area you will find a lot of knackers, especially at the center areas, and you can use this knackers to buy stuff from the shop. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more upcoming videos like this. See you guys in the next one.